Hey Nick, we need a tagline for the podcast.
No.
Real life opinions. Movie reviews told by fans and not critics.
Hi, I'm Leonard Maltin, and this is the Movie Police. Today we'll start with our video watch. Just re-released on video, the movie Gremlins, though I really can't imagine why. Now I know some people found this movie fun, but me, I'd rather spend 2 hours having root canal work done. What's fun about a movie full of ugly, slimy, mean-spirited, gloppy little monsters who run amok and attack innocent people? Our moviegoers so desperate for entertainment, this kind of trash and cast for fun. Whoa, wait a minute! This is kidding! Oh, a 10! It's a 10!
Well, we may as well do it. We may as well do number 2, right guys? We did Gremlins last week.
Yeah.
Corey, how's it going today?
Good. How was your week?
Oh, it's been terrific so far. Those that don't know, we've got a special guest tonight. Laura, say hi.
Hi.
Be more enthusiastic about it.
You told me to say hi.
Well, I guess that's my fault. I set the bar too low.
Yeah, that's right.
That's on me.
But you told me to freeze.
So, Gremlins 2, me and Corey, we both kind of love it.
Yeah,
Laura, you don't think it's as good as the first one?
I do and I don't. The first one's still better just for the chaos. The second one has a better storyline.
And once again, I don't understand. It's the same story, only it's the exact same story, only one's in a skyscraper.
It's like Story 2.0 though. Like, yeah, the small town, big city with
Evil.
science crap.
In small town, evil witch or whatever she is.
This is Deagle, yeah.
Who just wants to kill. She's like the Wicked Witch of the West. She just wants the dog.
Jeff actually made that comparison last week too.
Because he said, doesn't she say, "I'll get your little doggy" or something?
Yes.
And Gremlins 1 does have the fact that she goes flying out the window.
Yeah. There was two, one comeuppance, one other murder of a human character in the first movie. This one, there's nothing. The only people that die, there's a Spencer's Gifts there, I never noticed that. Anyway, the only people that die are the Gremlins.
Oh, the 90s were a long time ago, weren't they?
I love Spencer's.
They also had a Summer's Fur store there.
Oh.
I don't know what that is.
Me neither.
Fur coats.
That makes sense, as they'd have a fur coat.
Yeah, it's all the guys that died in the science lab. It's fine.
Yeah. So we find Gizmo out on the streets. Like, I love how the evil developer's not really evil in this movie.
No, it's the lawyer.
Well, he's not a lawyer. He's like the developer. Oh,
His
Robert
henchman
Picardo is
like
the lawyer. Yeah.
Is that what I was wondering, like, what his official title was in this movie.
He's like the second-hand man, but he's a lawyer.
Yeah,
he's
also
a stickler for the rules, is what he is.
He's like a business manager / lawyer.
Yeah.
Because you only send a lawyer to be like, I'm going to condemn your building and we're going to build this thingy here, right? And because if he was just Billy's boss, he wouldn't have gone to the old man in Chinatown, right? So he must be a lawyer.
So, yeah. Or he's just, I think he's a brown noser to Clamp, but he knows he's better than Clamp.
Maybe he's just a douchebag and he's just like, hey, I want to fuck over this old dude. Like, send me.
Every classic movie in the 90s, you've got to have your douchebag and you've got to have your dumbass.
Mm-hmm. Well,
luckily, in 2023, I can be both of those.
You guys like... So, once again, nobody's explained to me why there's more story.
It's the same story, but expanded, thus making it more story.
That doesn't make it... Putting it in a different place doesn't make it more story.
So here's the biggest thing that you have to remember with the first one. Is where all the story happens is literally the first 30-35 minutes of the movie. And then after that is pure chaos. There's no rhyme or reason to the movie minus kill the monster, who is literally a critter. Putting that out there.
Oh, critters.
Are they cuter criminals or are they less cute than critters?
Oh no, they're cuter.
They're cuter.
They're gooier, but they're
Yeah.
cuter.
Oh, on that point, it must be said how awesome the Gremlin design is in this movie.
Yeah, like I said, they totally stepped up their animatronic game. The movie does not have, I don't think, puppetry anymore. I think it's all animatronics and green screen. So
Yeah, what they saved in puppetry, they made up for in green screen. That's
Yeah.
what they did in this one.
yeah, I mean, the first one when they did the close-ups of Gizmo, and that was all puppetry, and it was cute and it was adorable, but they stepped up their game.
But there's a lot less green screen in the first one though.
Yeah,
The green screen's a little noticeable when like Gizmo's running
yeah,
from the destroyed building. Like
yeah.
that's kind of a terrible shot. And then like the twin finds him. Yeah. So what do we think of the douchebag in the movie? Is Robert Picardo the douchebag, or is the chick who's
Marla.
Marla?
No. Marla is the gold digger.
Mm-hmm.
Robert Picardo is the douchebag.
And who's the idiot?
Billy.
But, well, no.
You've got a problem when your main antagonist is the idiot.
Billy is naive.
Yeah.
He's a bit of an idiot in this one.
And the worst part is he's acting his life out in this movie. Like
Right?
in a movie where everybody is over the top, two characters are the grounded ones, and that's Christopher Lee's character as the scientist, and it's Billy.
And they portray men in tights.
the crap they get away with that comes out like the Grandpa Monster wannabe just like has his own channel, and I love while he's interviewing the Gremlins.
Yeah.
Like, oh, what do you want? And then Brady Gremlin comes on.
And then
And this is why
microwave with Marge.
This is why every housewife has wine in the. You're talking about worst
Yeah.
anything. Trolls.
Oh my god.
I don't know if I ever actually seen Troll. It wasn't Trolls, it was Troll, wasn't
First
it?
one was troll. Second one's trolls.
Really? The second one was called Trolls?
Yes.
I just remember everything turning like into like the green forest and everything like that, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It was.
You
horrible.
never seen it.
I watched it when I was younger. I haven't watched it in a long time, so
Which is saying something, because you watch movies a lot.
yeah. Well, I mean, we're at my place today, and just staring at my movie shelf. I mean, I know Laura's is quite more impressive. That said, hers is more DVDs. I have like 400 just Blu-rays. I have all my DVDs hidden. So
Yeah, but on display in my house, I have over 1,000.
yeah,
Yeah, two of you worked in a video store, and like I spent a lot of time in a video store, but didn't spend as much time as you guys.
I would say we worked in a video store in God sees you had more money than us though.
Well,
But in our defense, well, I don't know about you. In my defense, I got to watch them for free,
Yes, 10 a week.
unlimited.
Well, 10. No, it was 10 a week period. Yeah, because that mix and match with any of the pre-releases.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but mine was still unlimited.
yeah,
my mom was
I
always
could never get 10 in anyway. My kids were young when I was working there, so I didn't have a chance to just sit and watch movies. So
So you just watch them while you're on duty.
no,
Depends on the movie. There was limitations.
yeah, and I mean, we tried not to watch movies at work because we were always paranoid about the whole public exhibition thing. So we just took them home and watched them. I'd have movie parties after work, and we'd be open till midnight. So I'd go to bed at like 4:00 in the morning, and then be back at work for 8. Back when I was young and I could do that.
Right?
Yeah, that's not happening nowadays.
No, I went out till 1:00 or 1:30 on Wednesday. I almost died Thursday morning.
Yeah, this is why I don't want to go out with you to the Windsor. Now you understand why it's just like, oh, it's 11 o'clock. Why is Jeff going home? Like, I don't know, because of death the next day.
I just had my boss say to me, because of that, I was thinking, I'm just going to give you Wednesday, Thursdays off now.
Really?
Yeah. So she's catering to my
Wow.
habit.
Wow. You need her to talk to my boss.
I am my own boss, and I can't even get this Wednesday off.
I'm I'm taking a week off right now, and I think my boss is not happy about it. Like, they're not going to like stop me. They're not going to be like, no, you can't. But they're just like, that's really going to fuck us up for a week. You know this. I'm like, yeah, you know.
Sucks to suck.
I want to take 13 days off in August, and I think I'm going to get like 5 of them.
Meanwhile, I can't get any time off in August, so
Except for Wednesdays and Thursdays.
except for Wednesdays and Thursdays. That's after
You can
this
suck
week,
it, Corey. You can suck it.
Dude, that is my only life. So I'm glad they'll at least cater to my only social existence other than being at home.
So we got to we're way off track here, guys.
Oh, hey, a
Wait.
movie.
Yeah, we're talking about Gremlins too. Hey. So, talking about a job, how his existence at his job is just terrible. Like, the leech of a manager of above him.
So we weren't too far off track.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is true. You know, and that's what sucks about this job. He's trapped at his job this whole time. Like, it's just like, I can't go home. We are going to be stuck at my job this entire time with evil gremlins. Lucky me.
Yeah.
Like, that's probably the only thing worse than being stuck there afterwards. This movie's terrific for its visual gags, eh?
It is.
It's so meta. It's so meta.
It was meta back before meta was cool, too. Like, nowadays, everything's meta.
Yeah.
And, like...
Meta was cool. And, like, when we first started seeing it, like, back when this came out, for example, it wasn't something. So a lot of people, like you had said, found it kind of corny. Whereas then movies like Deadpool came out, and the epitome of fourth wall breaking. And now all of a sudden, you look back at any of the meta movies out there, like this one, and you appreciate it that much more than when it came out. God, I love John Glover. Sorry, off topic there too.
Oh, so trivia fact I brought up earlier. There's 2 Riddlers in this show. Does anyone besides Corey who already knows the answer know that out in Radioland?
Well, John Glover.
John Glover in Batman the Animated Series. And
John Austin.
Better known as Gomez Adams, right?
Yep.
Bastard who set this whole thing in motion.
Yeah. He's trying to fix a water fountain, and he ended up soaking Gizmo.
As a person who has tried to fix water fountains in the past, that's not how it works. Like,
beating it with a wrench isn't how you fix it?
No, you don't beat the top part with a wrench and then have it like squirt like 50 million, like 50 yards away. That's not how fixing a water fountain works. Not that this movie's known for its reality. I'm just saying that's not how it
Yeah,
works.
because you can run a gremlin through a paper shredder.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Don't you love how John Glover gets like through this whole movie is like so calm, cool, and collected? Like he is just like, oh, this is terrifying, but he like kind of talks normal.
He knows that he has to keep a cool head on his shoulders because he's running a major corporation.
he doesn't really change who he is, even though like, I put a gremlin through a paper shredder. But I'm still this major villain.
Yeah.
And if you look at the way he's trying to clean his hands, he's the stereotypical type of a germaphobe for the 90s.
Yeah. Again, corporate boss man. They were always portrayed as germaphobes. I don't know if they still are or not, but...
And, okay, here's the other thing. Why do they always, in the 90s, portray the females as the dumbasses? There's electrical problems in the building. Let's go get in the elevator.
I mean, if the shoe fits.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Corey
Hey,
Menzel
now.
does not speak for this podcast, okay? He does not speak. He speaks on his own behalf. Does not speak for the man of
Fight
this.
me.
And yet, he said himself, his favorite psycho is the one who triggers the elevator to fall.
I rest my case. He knew what he wanted to do. He knew what he had to do. In the end, she survived.
Just because she was being pinned down by gremlins.
Sounds like a her problem.
You geeked out pretty hard when you saw Christopher Lee.
Yeah, Christopher Lee, like I said, 70s Hammer films, Dracula. absolute metalhead. Like everything about Christopher Lee screamed up my alley.
I love when Peter Jackson was talking about Christopher Lee, about how, oh, that's not how a man who's stabbed in the back dies. It's more of a gas. It's like, how the fuck do you know what a guy getting stabbed in the back sounds like? Like, not want to fuck around with Christopher Lee in real life, right? All the other cameos in this movie, though, they're amazing, right, guys?
Yeah, like the Leonard Maltin scene that we threw in the beginning of the podcast here. That again, ridiculously meta, and it was Leonard Maltin. It was legit Leonard Maltin. So,
Well, and Hulk Hogan shows up in this thing.
I love how he's in the theater watching the movie in his wrestling attire.
Yeah.
Tears off his shirt. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is, if the original Gremlins was the most early 80s movie ever, this is the most early 90s movie ever. Like, Hulk Hogan at the height of his power in 1990,
Yeah.
he was bigger than Jesus.
I mean,
He
I
was
think
bigger than Jesus.
No, yes, but I think by 1990 he was starting to slowly.
He was.
Yeah.
And there's the pod we were talking about
Yeah.
too.
There's Christopher Lee comes in carrying a giant leaf pod. It's a total nod to Invasion of the Body Snatchers from 60 something that he totally was in.
Do you think they just had the lab, so it's just like, hey, let's have weird gremlins? Well, how are we going to do that? Well, let's have a lab.
Well, they needed something to make them all different. But not that their coloring isn't different to begin with, but
Well, their design is, like I was saying earlier, like amazing, like how different their designs were. But like, yeah, this is how you make the gremlins even more interesting.
I think what's funny is, like I said, I was in complete shock realizing that Joe Dante also directed the sequel here, because Joe Dante took himself pretty seriously as a horror director in the 80s. And the first Gremlins movie was arguably a family horror. That's the term I love to use, family-friendly horror. But this movie was just plain silly, stupid comedy, but it was still Joe Dante directing it.
This movie's not scary
at all.
Like, this is just...
The spider was kind of scary.
Okay, no, I agree there.
Yeah, okay. I'll give you the spider.
But, just aesthetics with it, too. I mean, you get one that becomes smart. He's automatically wearing glasses.
Where did the glasses come from?
Right? And get ready for the big Warner Brothers meta scene right here. With the gargoyle gremlin. Originally just a winged gremlin, but again, of course, gets put in the concrete and frozen and turned into a gargoyle. But when he flies out of the science lab, the hole in the concrete is the Batman symbol.
Yeah. Well, you guys notice how it starts off with a Looney Tunes cartoon? I was thinking about this. Daffy Duck and Bugs Bunny had the argument right at the very beginning of this movie. That's what they were going for. This was a Warner Brother Looney Tunes cartoon. They guessed it was Gremlins too, but it was a Looney Tunes. That's why everything's so batshit crazy. Like, that's what
batshit.
Yeah. That the concept of the Gremlins was around in like the earth. Nice. There's the bat symbol.
But realistically too, okay, they're flying out. Yeah, he gave him the serum. Obviously, it doesn't work. He should have turned to stone before he landed.
Well, he cemented. They hit him with cement.
Yeah, they dunk him in that
that's right.
where they're pouring the concrete there.
That's right.
So, am I onto something with the Looney Tunes? Is that why it's so zany, guys?
Yeah. Yeah, I think the Warner Brothers who were behind the Looney Tunes were still in the office at this point, and they wanted to do that. They wanted to have something as crazy and zany as the Looney Tunes in a live-action movie. And this was before Roger Rabbit.
Here's their law office. Okay, and how does he go from being in the science lab to the law office? That fast.
He walked.
That's super
Corey,
fast.
I'm going to Google you, and or maybe not Google you.
Are you
but
fact-checking my Roger Rabbit?
I don't need the fact check, and I know Roger Rabbit came out before this.
Damn it. Okay.
Roger Rabbit came out in '89. This came out in 1990.
Yeah.
Within a year.
Still not before. Like,
I mean, time is relative.
like this is clear.
Total 90s.
We're just watching the gremlin expose himself.
With zero genitalia.
Yeah, no, Roger Rabbit came out before this.
Yeah, it was close.
Do you think Roger Rabbit's more meta than this?
No, Roger Rabbit's more sexual than this.
No, but Roger Rabbit wasn't meta.
There's a gremlin that exposes himself.
It wasn't
There's
meta.
a transgender gremlin.
And an old man plays patty cake with a cartoon character.
Literally, that's all he does, though. I don't understand the sexual nature of that scene.
Yeah, me neither.
It's the sound she makes.
Roger, you're patty cake, patty cake. It's like,
Love Charles Fleischer.
okay, just like settle down, dude. It's patty cake. Oh.
But no, Roger Rabbit was not meta. It just had things from different studios. That was it. There was no like breaking the fourth wall. It was just things from other studios.
I think Joe Dante made this as a love letter to them old movies. Like, you know, there's so many callbacks to other, like the Eddie Munster looking character. Like, you know, that was totally a thing where
Eddie
these got
Munster.
You mean Grandpa?
Grandpa Munster.
Herman
Yeah.
Munster.
No,
Grandpa.
Grandpa.
His name is Herman.
No.
Yes.
The main guy's name was Herman.
Oh yeah. No.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fred Gwynn was Herman.
that's right.
Yeah.
I'm not
I
gonna
gotta think about
I'm
that
not
one.
gonna Google this one.
No, I know I'm
it's
right.
right. No, that's
Yeah, like how you knew you were right about Roger Rabbit.
You know
no,
what?
he's right on this.
I think you are right, but that's
Well, I know
beside
I'm
the
right, but
point.
that's not the point.
Besides, hey, so did seriously nobody die in this? Some of the scientists die.
Nope.
Christopher Lee dies,
They're
doesn't
all
he?
running away right now.
No, I think Christopher Lee dies, and Christopher Lee's the only one who dies. I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure he gets.
Well, this is the Hulk Hogan scene right now. So
Oh, somebody needs to get his comeuppance. Like they steal Gizmo, and
other animals.
yeah, you know, somebody's got to get their comeuppance. This whole thing got set in motion.
See, like right here where they're doing the puppets, they're doing the shadow puppets. It's a total call out to the first movie where there's just shadows behind the screen there.
I remember this scene as a kid, just like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, I was so confused. Like, I'm...
And they're watching a porno.
Oh, don't you guys miss when theaters had balconies?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I mean, we still got the Bailey.
Yeah, but they don't show movies anymore.
Yeah, it's tragic.
I love how the usher goes to deal with this. I will deal with this. Mr. Hulk Hogan, we need your help. The Hulkster is just a little distracting, isn't it?
A little bit.
Think the Grimsters can stand up to the Hulkster?
Sorry, folks, won't happen again.
So much fourth wall breaking.
Well, is that even fourth wall? Because they're outside of the movie.
But he's still talking to the camera, thus making it a fourth wall break.
But the movie stops because, well,
But
like I know the movie still goes, but the movie stops in the movie, which is why
If
he
it was
talks to
just-
the camera.
if it
but
was
he's
just
yelling at the gremlins in the booth, and then he looks at the camera.
yeah,
and,
if
"Sorry,
he didn't
folks."
look at the camera, it wouldn't be fourth wall breaking. But the fact that he looked at the camera to say "sorry, folks, won't happen again," that's fourth wall breaking.
But what I'm trying to say is that that's supposed to represent you watching it in the theater because they were watching Gremlins 2.
I don't think so, because he makes direct eye contact with the viewer, not the theater. So
Well, okay.
oh
Okay,
yeah,
he
Yeah,
does
I said
die.
Christopher Lee dies.
by the electric gremlin.
How does Billy not die?
Well, they
Like-
try killing him.
They try their
Often.
like they had him dead to rights in the first one. A fucking gremlin pulls out a goddamn machine gun. Like,
An Uzi, no less.
yeah. So the best part of this movie is the best part of this movie is the new Gremlins, right, guys?
Totally, yeah.
Like all the laboratory ones.
Yes.
Oh, and I feel like Gizmo finally gets his comeuppance in this movie
He
too.
just freaking snaps.
Yeah, he does the Rambo thing,
Yeah.
right? I love it. Like he's got the stupid little the car that makes
Yeah.
no sense.
I remember after watching this movie, probably not the first time, but either way, I totally took a paperclip, separated it, and put an elastic band in it, and made a shooter out of it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I was going to say how many of us didn't do that.
I was pretty wicked with an elastic band back in the day, I'm not going to lie. Good way and bad way, but yeah.
So, final thoughts on this movie, guys? Or are we too early for final thoughts? Like,
You're too early for final thoughts.
I'm not
yet.
too early for final thoughts. We're trying to keep these underneath 40 minutes, Laura. Well, Laura doesn't know how it works. She's out. We're never inviting her ever again. Well, why did they invite this old couple back again? Somebody remind me.
They didn't invite them. They were going to New York to visit and were supposed to stay with them.
Well, I guess they're just good friends, but like, of all the returning characters, I wanted to see the dad return.
Yeah.
The dad would have been a good one.
Mm-hmm.
And just because I can't not ever talk about Terminator, Murray Futterman in this was the guy who sold Arnold Schwarzenegger his gun in the first Terminator movie.
I do not remember that at all. We're going to be forced to do Terminator 2 just because they're like, Jeff, why don't you remember this movie?
Yeah, come on, man. Best movie ever.
Like,
I will fight you.
it's...
Them be
I have a
words.
tattoo that cost me $500 of a Terminator skull on my arm. I think I might be obsessed.
It might not even be the best sequel ever.
Oh,
Really? Really?
And you kick Laura out? I think you need to leave, sir.
Really?
Did the electrical gremlin scare the shit out of you guys too? Like
No.
the spider and
No, only the spider. The electrical one was cool, but any kid who grew up in the 90s, it's like, I wonder if I touch the socket and it'll come out.
that's what I was worried about with him. Like, I thought, he was just gonna come out of my thing. I love how they have the
closing air.
the world is ending. We
hope you enjoyed life.
Because you know what, I guarantee.
And he's like misty-eyed watching it.
I guarantee some fucking like Rupert Murdoch type guy has that already. That's what they do with like celebrities. Like if you're like a big name, they've already got your obituary all typed up, like ready to go. That's why they get out so quick. Those things, right?
Well, there's actually, and I know somebody who did it. There's a business model out there that you can pre-write your obituary, and you can have it sent to your family at the moment of buy. So, because then you actually know it's your words coming out. So
well, that's how you get a kick-ass obituary too, right?
Yeah.
My family doesn't know about that time I was doing triple backflips over top of elephants in India, but like it was totally true and happened.
Oh, obviously.
Better go in my obituary.
MTV.
It's such a love letter to the old Hammerstein and like the old school creature movies, isn't this thing, eh?
Yeah.
I think that was why it was probably so heavy on the creatures as well, because that was like the thing, like was the guys in costumes and stuff like that, and the live creatures. Oh, it can't be an early '90s movie without a
Training
action
montage, yeah.
poor Gizmo. Okay, and I thought this was a real thing, guys. When I was a kid, I thought this was real. The elevator coming out of a tree in this skyscraper. I thought that was this. Oh yeah.
Okay, but
these
in
buildings
New
have
York
those.
too, everybody thinks that there's Ninja Turtles in the sewers.
Man, when that movie came out in 90 there as well, or 90, 91, whatever it was,
Mhm.
there was so many kids that apparently did go in the sewers, and there was like, they wanted to ban the movie. I remember that.
Well, I remember I wanted to look. I made a career out of it.
I was just gonna say.
You keep telling
I
me
was
that
a
you're
big
looking
Ninja
for
Turtle
him.
fan. No. Oh, finally, Gizmo's getting his
Rambo on.
Rambo on. Television does corrupt people, right? Does create violence, guys.
Television, an invention
Okay.
for fools. That was not the same elastic band he pulled out.
We grew up fine.
Did we though?
I didn't.
We grew up perfectly fine. We are not dead.
That not being dead is different than perfectly fine.
I have a stable job.
I
And
mean,
a family.
Charles
I'm
Manson
fine.
lived to his 80s. I'm just saying. So.
Yeah.
Charles Manson lived in prison till his 80s. I'm not in jail.
Yet.
Oh my, I love the interview with the smart gremlin.
Yeah.
Who's now smoking a cigar.
Pipe.
Pipe.
Is it a pipe now? Yeah, it is a pipe.
We just want to go visit the sites, you know, do what a sailor would do in New York. Like,
And yet another bar scene.
well, I think they wanted to. There's so many sight gags in these things. Like, did you see the no gizmo shirt?
Yeah.
The idiot with the beanie cap. Like, there's a shocking amount of gun violence in this show.
Yeah, there really is.
Like, did there need?
But again, in this year, all the movies that came out, like, I mean, some of the best movies of the 80s were gun violence movies. You got Terminator, you got Predator, you got Commando, you got...
Mhm.
That's a lot of Schwarzenegger going on there.
Yeah, maybe you're just thinking Schwarzenegger.
Maybe.
movies.
And then you had, like, the martial arts. You had the Van Damme movies, and you had... Yeah.
Steven Seagal had a lot of guns in his movie.
Yeah, he was guns and martial arts,
Yeah, he was all about the guns.
Well, he was Aikido, so his martial art was a little... It wasn't as flashy as, like, the Jean-Claude Van Dammes of the world, so...
I feel like... you guys ever watch the show, The Critic?
Yeah. John Lovitz.
Yeah, John Lovett's absolute beauty. He does the Jean-Claude Van Damme spoof, and then he's just like, "Oh, I'm as sissy as a daisy" at the end of it, where he scares the shit out of the critic. What don't they have in this tower? Like, they've got a dentist office,
A lawyer's office.
a television
A science lab,
network.
a television studio.
Oh my god, I love the scene where he's just like, "Oh, I told you that science lab was a bad idea. Those guys were a bunch of cooks. We could have had like a couple doctors up in there instead and a bookstore, but no, you wanted the science lab." I was really hoping this chick was gonna get her comeuppance in the cobwebs. The
Marla.
redhead,
Yeah.
Marla. How can you remember her name?
I don't know.
You can't remember Kate's name?
Yeah, well.
Yeah, that'll happen.
Gold digger, not important character.
She's like,
I mean, we saw her
Marla's-
boobs in Fast Times, just saying. So
But Marla is the sex symbol.
you don't get to see her boobs.
yeah.
That's
I had
family
one request.
friendly.
Anyway. Family friendly horror.
I don't understand. It's such a stark contrast from Fast Times at Ridgemont High to like this role for her. Like, she's such a sweetheart in
These
both
movies,
Gremlin
yeah.
movies.
Yeah.
Like, I bet you they were reluctant to cast her because
Probably.
of Fast Times. Like, we want you to be a sweetheart, and they're like, you were like in that red bikini showing off those boobs. Like,
Did you ever watch the movie The Island with Scarlett Johansson?
ooh, is
Yes.
that the one where they?
They're clones, is Ewan McGregor and
Yes.
Scarlett Johansson.
Yes,
Michael Bay movie. Apparently,
it very much.
Scarlett Johansson wanted to do a topless scene in that movie, and Michael Bay told her no. And millions of simps and geek boys everywhere are still mad at Michael Bay to this day.
Like, I'm mad at Michael Bay before that, and now I'm even madder.
I mean, I'm gonna go too off topic if I talk about Michael Bay. We'll do a Michael Bay movie one time. I'll go off topic.
Will we do a Michael Bay movie?
Maybe
one
we'll
day?
do the first Transformers. I don't know.
Will we?
I don't know. We could do The Rock.
You know what?
The Rock was amazing.
I would be up for doing The Rock.
Yeah.
Or Gone in 60 Seconds.
Gone in 60 Seconds was an amazing movie.
Maybe that wasn't Michael
That
Bay.
wasn't Michael Bay.
That
though.
wasn't, but it's still an amazing movie.
But The Rock was Michael Bay.
Did he do Armageddon?
Yes.
Yes.
I could do Armageddon too.
I don't want to cry.
So don't watch that one scene.
Bruce Willis, the most manliest man of all time, and the most manliest of professions of all time, doing like saving the universe, like being mushy to his daughter.
I mean, his daughter was Liv Tyler.
Do you love the throwback to the first movie with the Lincoln's Day? She mentions Lincoln's Day. Yeah, oh yeah, everyone questions you if you hate Christmas, but no one questions you if you hate Lincoln's Day.
birthday, yeah.
Yeah. And then this one, it's just like there was a man dressed as Abraham. Like, oh, we don't have time.
And that's why Kate is one of my least favorite characters, and she always will be. Because she's too whiny.
Speaking of lazy, Phoebe Cates, her character's name is Kate. Really?
Yeah. At least it's not Phoebe.
Yeah.
Okay, so final thoughts, everybody. Starting with you, Laura.
Final thoughts for this movie, still a classic. It's a good monster movie. Still a better storyline than the first one.
Same story.
It's the same story, but it's better. I don't know, anything from the 90s when it happens in New York, it's just better.
Stays in
Okay.
New York?
Well, that's not how New York works. That's
Okay.
not-
Wait, that's Vegas.
That's big. Yeah. But it's just a mayhem in New York. It just works better.
I think the expanding of the lore, like having the different sub creature of the Gremlins, thanks to the science lab, is what made this movie the great movie that it was. Like, they could have just been the Gremlins loose in New York, and then it would be the exact same story as the first one. But by taking the characters and kind of making sub characters out of them, that's what made it different, and that's what made it fun.
Yeah, I will agree with you guys on that point. Like, the expansion of the different varieties of Gremlins really made this movie. Like, they were by far the stars, the new Gremlin varieties. The Brain Gremlin, I loved him.
Absolutely. It's totally my favorite.
Yeah.
Well, no. My favorite was still the zany one with the rolling eyes and the
Mhm.
psycho laugh. The laugh reminded me of Silicious Crumb from Star Wars.
I still don't understand how she confused him for Gizmo.
The
Yeah.
coloring's similar, and
It is
it-
not.
No.
It's a little similar.
The coloring. Okay,
It has brown and white.
yes.
That's it.
And she wasn't paying any attention. He was in the drawer.
And we already established she's a dumb character.
There's that too, but
No wonder
Billy
you hate Kate.
right. She followed instructions to a T. He is in the drawer of my desk.
But he wasn't.
She picks up the stupid one from.
No.
Yeah, no,
He was
King
on top
Kong.
of a thing. Yeah, he was on top of that.
He was doing a King
Okay.
Kong on a tower.
But even then, she's still. There is a Mogwai.
Yeah.
Wait, that's
Take it.
to be true. There shouldn't be a lot of Mogwais.
There shouldn't be, but based on the fact that she survived the first movie, you got to be a little bit cautious.
Well, and she seemed like she was gonna be. Like, she addressed this. Like, last time this happened.
Yeah.
Last time this happened. Oh, that's not gonna happen this time.
And then she was a dumbass again.
But she was an ineffective character.
Unnecessary character. I mean, in
Very
a sense.
ineffective.
If she wouldn't have been in this one, everyone would have been asking, well, why isn't she in this one?
No, I would have been happy if she wasn't.
I think they could have just written her off like the dad. Oh, she's off somewhere. He's off somewhere.
I
Like
think it would have been harder to explain her absence more than the dad's. He's like, oh, he's not living with the dad anymore. Like, how often do you see your dad in real life?
it's because Hoyt Axton didn't want anything to do with this movie, probably.
Oh, so
Anyway. What is your rating, Jeff?
I'm gonna give it. I think I'm gonna give it 2.75. I was thinking about I'm gonna give it 3 out of 4 Indiana Jones.
Oh, Laura, you're
What?
new. And don't worry, I've been here the whole time, and I still don't understand it.
Okay.
What kind of rating do you give this movie, Laura?
Are we basing it off the stars or just whether
I like
people
to
should
use-
watch it?
I like.
Don't ignore him. He fell as a child, and he never recovered. Just let's say star rating or just out of 5.
I'd give it a 3.5 out of 5.
Corey, your star rating?
Only because it really was a terrible movie, but incredibly fun. I'm only going to give it a 2.5.
I think you gave the first one higher than that, didn't
I
you?
did.
I was thinking about giving it lower than the first one, but I just enjoyed it too much.
Yeah, no, and again, it's definitely more fun. But if we're doing a rating, then we're doing a rating. So
I guess enjoyed this one so much more than the first one that I had to give it at least the same rating.
well, and it's funny being a guy like me who again is heavy into horror, which is probably why I like the first one more. But at the same time,
This
I
one's
love my
such a-
comedies. So
This one's such an homage to the old school horror, though.
It is. See, and that's why it gets a higher rating for me. Is just all the different aspects with the Gremlins, and the final death scene. It's worth it.
Well, Laura, it's been a slice. Say goodbye to the camera.
To the camera.
Well, yeah.
Oh, I
Or
forgot to tell you, we record you when you're not around.
Well, son of a bitch.
Corey.
Thanks, everybody. You know the drill. Follow us on social media.
Keep your stick on the ice. Till next time. Bye. Is that it?